I'm going to preview the Baylor versus Cincinnati men's basketball game, which will be played on January 7th at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. Baylor is 9-4 in a year, 1-1 in the Big 12. Of course, a recent loss to Iowa State, but Iowa State's probably the best team in the Big 12. Yeah, they're going to lose a few games in the conference, but I think they're going to be a one seed for the NCAA tournament potentially down the line. So there's no shame in losing to them. Granted, I know it's 74-55, but still. And Cincinnati is 10-3 on the year, and believe it or not, they're 0-2 in the conference. Yeah, that's right. They lost to Kansas State, really close. I apologize if I'm looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. 70-67, and then they lost at home against Arizona, 72-67. So really close games. They just didn't finish them. And both of those losses are not good losses, to say the least, for Cincinnati. We'll see if Cincinnati is ranked, which I highly doubt. We'll see about Baylor being ranked, but I think Baylor, no matter what, should be receiving votes. I'm not sure about Cincinnati. Now, I'm pre-recording this ahead of time. This way, I could instantly upload it, this preview right here, as soon as possible. And I will put the stats in the description below so y'all could see it. And I will say that Cincinnati struggled mightily last game from the three-point line when you look at the numbers and the free throw line. That's probably the reason why they lost that game. And they were down by 19. Yes, they tied it up late, but they didn't win it. So what are some players to keep an eye on? Like Seamus Leukosis, Lukosius. Apologize if I butchered that. Number 41, 6'8", 225-pound guard. That's a senior, and y'all can check it. And I'm going to just go ahead and mention the stats too, from this point onward on these previews for basketball. So, 13.6 points per game, 34 for 84 on threes, 17 for 20 on free throws, 3.2 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, 1.6 turnovers per game, 0.7 steals per game, 0.8 fouls per game. Then there's Dan Skillings Jr., number 0, 6'6", 215-pound guard. That's a junior. 12.4 points per game, 9 for 30 on threes, 82.4% from the free throw line on 17 attempts, 4.7 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game, 1.3 turnovers per game, 1.4 steals per game, 1 block per game, 2.1 fouls per game. And there's Dylan Mitchell, and he was at Texas last year, if y'all recognize that name. Number 23, 6'8", 210-pound forward as a junior, 11.8 points per game, 35.3% on threes, but that's on 17 attempts. So not really that much. But horrific at the free throw line. I mean, 26.5% from the free throw line on 34 attempts. 7.7 rebounds per game, though. 1 turnover per game. 1.8 steals per game. 1.8 fouls per game. This is Chisel James, number 2. 6'1", 195-pound guard. That's a sophomore. 11.5 points per game. 31.3% on threes on 48 attempts. 64.3% on free throws, but that's on 14 attempts. 3.8 rebounds per game, 5.1 assists per game, 1.8 turnovers per game, 1 steal per game, 1.6 blocks per game, and 1.9 fouls per game. That's all the double-digit scores. Now from there, it's not like a huge drop-off, but still, I'll just make mention. Aziz Bandago, Bandagogo. Apologize if I butchered that. Number 55, 7 foot. Number 55, 7 foot, 235-pound forward. That's a senior. 9.2 points per game. 26 for 39 on free throws. 5.8 rebounds per game. 0.8 turnovers per game. 1.8 blocks per game. 1.6 fouls per game. Then there's Day Thomas, number 1. 6 foot, 185-pound guard. That's a senior. 7.9 points per game. 41.9% on threes on 31 attempts. 77.8% from the free throw line on 18 attempts. 2.8 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, 1.5 turnovers per game, 1.2 steals per game, 1.7 fouls per game. I'm going to just go ahead and mention Ayrton Page, number 22, 6 foot 9 inch, 240-pound forward as a sophomore. 5.8 points per game, 2 for 4 on threes. 64.7% on free throws on 34 attempts, 3.2 rebounds per game, 0.8 turnovers per game, 0.8 blocks per game, 1.9 fouls per game. This Connor Hickman, number 8, 6 foot 3 inch, 200-pound guard as a senior. 4.7 points per game, 27.3% on threes on 33 attempts, 1 for 2 on free throws, 2.6 rebounds per game, 0.7 turnovers per game, 0.7 steals per game, 0.9 fouls per game. And really, this is going to be the last guy I'm going to really mention here is Tyler Betsy, number 14, 6 foot 8 inch, 225-pound forward as a freshman, 4.4 points per game, 34.1% on threes on 41 attempts, 42.9% on free throws on 7 attempts, 2.5 rebounds per game, 0.9 fouls per game. And now I'm going to make mention that I do not know whether or not Langston Love will play in this game due to ankle soreness, and the same thing goes for Jalen Celestine with his ankle injury. He suffered that in the Utah game, if y'all don't recall. They're both day-to-day. That was right before the game started against Iowa State, by the way. So it's next man up mentality no matter what. And across the board, expect Cincinnati to play angry, ticked off. They're 0-2 in the conference. Surely they don't want to be 0-3. And their schedule does not get any easier, after this game. You got Kansas next. They got Kansas next at home. You got Colorado on the road and Arizona State on the road. At home. So there's a possibility they could really have a rough start in the conference after this game. So they're going to play feisty. They're going to play angry. Whatever you did wrong last game, you got correct into this game. Whatever you did right last game, which was not a ton, you got to bring into this game. That's simple. And the officiating may be questionable at times, but you got to be the more mentally tougher team. You got to limit the foul trouble on your end and get them in foul trouble. Make adjustments on the fly throughout the game, not just from first half to second half, but during the first half, timeout to timeout, for everything, possession by possession. Now, defensively, it wouldn't shock me if we go zone in this game because they did not shoot the ball good from 3. And maybe that's one of the better ways to limit the foul trouble. You got to play solid defense and don't give up easy looks to the basket. Let them live at the free throw line. Limit the offensive rebounds. Second chance points. Fast break points. Points on turnovers. So, yeah. Contain the shooters. Contain the slashers in this game as well. So, yeah. You don't want to get them on fire, though, from 3 if they're not shooting the good ball from 3 that good. Don't want to start that happening. You got to force some turnovers, which leads into you got to limit the points off turnovers as well. Now, offensively, we got to take care of the ball. And that's one of the few things that Baylor actually did good in last game against Iowa State, I believe. But I'm going to double check that real fast. You got to have good shot selection. You got to have a little ball movement. And when you get to the free throw line, you got to make your free throws count, which they made 71.4% on free throws on 14 attempts. So we have to shoot ball better from 3. And some of that shot selection, I'm just saying. We only had 8 turnovers in the game against Iowa State. That was not the problem. It's not making shots. You can't let your offense dictate your defense. As in we didn't make a shot. We're not going to care on defense. You cannot do that. And, yeah, I know you got beat up last game. But you got to move on. And not dwell on it. Because there's another opportunity. I'm just saying. And not just from the 3-point line, we need to shoot better. It's across the board. We have to shoot better. And like I said, I do not know the status of Langston Love and Jalen Celestine going to this game. They're both day-to-day. Last time I looked. And that was right before the Iowa State game. We need Jeremy Roach to shoot the ball better. Yes, I know he got 16 points, but that's on 14 shots, and 5 of those were makes. I mean, some of those points were garbage time. Yes, he went 4 for 7 on threes, but that's garbage time. Jay Nunn needs to play better than he has in the last 2 games. 6 points or less. He needs to be more aggressive. Take it to the rack. Or make some shots from 3. I'm just saying. And VJ Edgecombe, hopefully he gets out. He put that last game behind him. And has a good game both offensively and defensively. Because I know he can be an impact player in defense. I mean, he had 4 steals last game. Despite the loss. Hopefully Norchad Omier shoots the ball better. But I think part of it is he took too many threes. I honestly think I would not mind as much if he takes more mid-range than 3 right now. I wouldn't. Or get straight to the rim. Like post up. He needs to have a better game. Joshua Zhuwuna had a double-double. 13 points and 10 rebounds. I mean, and that's on 6 shots. So hopefully he keeps that game going. Hopefully he does. And Jason Asamoah, if he needs to play in this game due to foul trouble, he needs to do his role and hopefully make some shots. And maybe, and it's the nerves, got to him. And Robert Wright had his first real bad game shooting the ball. I mean, 10 points on 17 shots, and 4 of those were makes. And 1 for 6 on threes. It's like shot selection all over again. I mean, it's just telling the truth. And we got to get some second chance points when you get the offensive rebound, which you had 13 of those last game. I mean, we had more offensive rebounds, but we just didn't convert enough. I mean, just telling the truth. You got to get some like fast break points and all that. And points in the paint, whether it's like a drive or a post up. And hope if Langston Love does play, he needs to do his role and score some. And the same thing goes for Jalen Celestine. And hopefully he shoots the ball well from 3 if he does play. That is it if both of those guys do play, by the way. So, and of course you got to be ball tough. Just kind of like going hand in hand with the turnovers. I mean, you did a good job in that last game. Bring it to this one. I mean, it's just telling the truth. And of course, if you're one of those situations that they know they have to foul real quick, get a steal real quick, or foul, you got to protect the ball in those situations, whether it's side out of bounds or underneath your own basket or opposing basket trying to go to your own scoring basket. I mean, you got to be smart with your fouls too. And the crazy thing is that Baylor didn't have a lot of guys with 3 fouls or more last game. I mean, VJ with 3, Jimmy Roach with 3. We do not need that, especially with the depleted with no Langston Love for the game and VJ and yeah, we don't, and Jason Asamoah, but he did that in 9 minutes. I do think if both Jalen and Langston do play, Jason Asamoah won't play as much, but even if he does, he might play. It might be a little bit if needed. So I'm just saying, and just gotta have that mindset of we're not going to back down at home. And in order to think about being top 4 in the conference here, you've got to win your home games. This is an opportunity against a team that is down right now. They lost 2 games that they technically shouldn't have. I mean, one game was on the road. I get it. But the other game was at home. And to mention one more loss for them, for Cincinnati, they did lose to Villanova. Which Villanova at the time was not that good, but they've been better since then. But still. So this is not like an Iowa State. They're not like that. But I wouldn't say they're bad as Utah either. Somewhere in the middle, I would dare to say. And you need to try to ignite the fans in this game by creating positive plays and make the other team miserable. I mean, of course, you don't want to have technical fouls or flagrant fouls, anything like that. But you get the whole point here. So, and if they do that, it's on them, on all their miscues. You got to take advantage of the miscues as much as possible. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 7 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So my money up there. Of course, like a video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithms so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button for the notification bell as well.